keep your voice down. You sure nobody else is listening? Okay, good. Welcome to this highly classified explainer. Listen, I need you to treat the information we're about to go over today not just as some spooky folklore, but as a vital, absolutely crucial survival dossier. Because we're looking at a threat that has been hiding out in the frozen woods for centuries. I've compiled this data to give you the exact knowledge you need to stay alive. So let's dive into this before the temperature drops any further.
Winter is coming. Are you hungry? I want you to seriously stop and consider what actually happens to the human mind when the snow sets in. You know, when the food runs out, and when true, agonizing winter starvation takes over. It's in that terrifying, desperate little space that the boundaries of humanity start to blur, and something dark and ancient just completely takes over. All right, Section 1. The winter monster is real. Let's look at the Algonquian folklore. Now, we know this beast actively prowls the woodlands of Canada, the northern US, and right along the Atlantic coast. This isn't just some campfire story made up to scare kids. It's a geographic reality tied directly to winter and famine. Just look at the sheer volume of names it goes by. Wendigo, Whitico, Withcaco. I mean, the list goes on and on. You do not get this many localized aliases unless countless isolated communities are all whispering about the exact same nightmare when the temperature drops. Ignorance will absolutely get you killed out there.
You need to understand exactly what you're up against, because our sources highlight a really terrifying dichotomy here. There's the material Wendigo, which is a fierce, fleshy, physical beast hunting across North America. And then there is the spirit Wendigo. This is an inescapable, demonic form that possesses those who resort to cannibalism, violently harassing its victims until they die. So whether it's a physical beast physically hunting you down or a spirit taking over your mind, the threat is absolute.
Moving on to Section 2, Anatomy of a Hungry Demon.
If you're ever out in the frozen woods, you need to know exactly what this thing looks like so you don't mistake it for a trick of the light. If you see this, you don't investigate, you run. The physical traits are just horrifying. It's incredibly tall, severely emaciated with a skeletal frame. The skin is stretched completely tight over protruding bones. It literally has a heart made of solid ice. And its mouth? Just tattered, bloody lips. Honestly, with lips that ruined from gnawing on bone, the beast desperately needs some lip balm. But yeah, I am certainly not going to be the one to offer it to him. We aren't just dealing with a starving bear here. The Wendigo is known to wear the massive, rotting skull of a dog or a deer right over its own head. And topped on that skull are huge horns that are visible from afar. It is a towering, blood-stained nightmare just stepping out of the tree line.
But here's the thing. You might not even see it first. You might just hear it. According to the data, its screams can be heard from tens of kilometers away. Let that sink in for a second. If you hear an unearthly, massive shriek echoing through the freezing pines, you are already in its hunting grounds. It already knows you're there.
Let's hit Section 3, How to Become a Wendigo. It's a dark transformation.
See, this monster isn't just born, it's made from us. It is a 4-step drop right into madness. Step 1 starts with desperation and winter starvation. The food is completely gone. Step 2 is the breaking point, committing the ultimate taboo of eating human flesh. Step 3, that act of cannibalism acts as an open door for demonic spirit possession. The Wendigo spirit actually enters the host. And Step 4, the human is gone, entirely replaced by an eternal, ravenous hunger. Eating human flesh is a literal one-way ticket to demonic possession. And that brings us to its absolute most terrifying trait. No matter how much it consumes, it is never, ever satisfied. It's the total embodiment of excess. I mean, you got to admit, having a metabolism that high sounds pretty great in theory, but when it translates into an eternal craving for raw human meat, yeah, it becomes a literal death sentence for anyone sharing the woods with it.
Let's look at Section 4, Classified, the SCP Connection.
Now, if you thought this was purely myth, well, I have leaked Romanian Dossier data proving otherwise. The Wendigo phenomenon is officially documented by shadow organizations. Classification? Euclid. Designation? SCP-323-1. Threat level? The most dangerous form of the entity. This isn't just folklore anymore, guys. This is undeniable classified data treating the Wendigo as a powerful, possessive object that must be contained. Let's break down the exact SCP-323-1 attributes listed in those files. It's described as a human who puts on the skull of a Wendigo, which triggers an instant transformation.
They retain their independent intelligence, but they gain highly developed senses, an elevated metabolism, and a horrific attraction to raw meat, specifically human. It is absolutely mind-blowing that simply donning the skull turns a normal human being into a highly intelligent, flesh-craving Euclid-class threat.
Section 5. A warning against extreme greed. The cultural warning.
So why does all this matter to us beyond, just avoiding getting eaten in the woods? Well, the Native American tribal elders knew the beast was out there, and the myth served as a cultural deterrent against gluttony, extreme selfishness, and hoarding during times of communal hardship. It was a literal survival rule disguised as a monster story. Basically, the message was, share your trail mix, share your rations with the group, or you're literally going to invite the spirit in and turn into a giant rotting deer demon. It's a pretty effective way to make sure everyone cooperates during a famine, wouldn't you say?
Which brings us to the end of our explainer. We've established the facts, the lore, and the undeniable classified documentation. We know the beast is out there, and we know that no matter how much it eats, it is never, ever satisfied. So I'm going to leave you with this one question. The next time the snow falls and you pack up your gear, who are you taking winter camping? Make sure it's someone you trust. Stay safe out there.